Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Shea Dixon of Geaux247 on short notice jumps aboard with us. Shea, thanks on short notice for joining us, man. I appreciate it. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. We've got some news to talk about. Some
Yeah.
sports.
So Jabril Cox commits. How did this all come about? The kid never got on campus.
Yeah, isn't that funny? So we're in this kind of obviously uncharted territory in every way of life, but in recruiting, with the dead period extended to June 1st, get into the mind of a guy like Jabril Cox, who he thought on June 1st, even before that he'd be moved into a college, that he would already be on campus and doing workouts and conditioning and getting ready to gear up for, a full course load in the summer of academics and obviously for him as a grad transfer, getting warmed up with a team. And now he doesn't this is a guy we talked about on this show, right? When the SEC, even before the NCAA announced that the dead period had begun, that they weren't going to allow any kids on campus or coaches to go off campus.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back in March. He was headed to the airport. I mean, he was coming down to take his official visit and ultimately wasn't able to come, and now found out, obviously, yesterday, day before, that it had been extended until June 1st. And for him, I think he got on the phone with LSU today. And look, and I'll touch on this more, but Bill Busch played a massive role in this one. LSU safeties coach. He, kind of really got in there and recruited Cox and his family, had some ties that have helped him work Jabril's mom a good bit throughout the process. And I think just earning that trust from them that everything they were selling him on was the real deal. And, Jabril has said it before. I went to North Dakota State. I had other options. I won 3 national championships. I was an All-American every year. And in his mind, what better place than going to a place like LSU that's coming off a national championship. He wanted to play at the highest level. And is it sight unseen for him? It is, absolutely. But I think if you ask him, he would say, look, I went from Kansas City to North Dakota State. I think I'll be fine headed down to the Bayou for 6 months or however long he's got to be down here to play football.
Have you ever seen a situation where someone committed sight unseen, like they've never been to the campus?
Yeah, but it's much different when you're a grad transfer and you do that, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go there and only spend August to January, and I know enough about them because I'm 22, 23 years old. I can make a good decision. But, I've never seen it at that level. This is the first I've ever seen a grad transfer do it. High school, yeah, if I'm a kid in South Florida and LSU offers me and I commit, I did it sight unseen. Now, before I sign, I will have been on an official visit, unofficial visit. So that happens, but we don't ever see a grad transfer decide on where he's transferring to without ever going to that school. And that's kind of what he had to do.
Shea Dixon, Geaux247 on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Y'all give him a follow. So this is an obvious day one starter?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're promising anything to anybody, but you look at losing Jacob Phillips and Patrick Queen, 2 of your leading tacklers. If I know Phillips was the leading tackler, Queen was up there, but your 2 starting middle linebackers, and even if you played a 4-3 on every down of every snap of every game, you're going to have more than you're getting multiple enough to where you'll have multiple backers out there. So whether in the middle, so whether it's Jabril Cox and Damone Clark or Micah Baskerville, or they've moved Marcel Brooks inside, at least for a couple of days they did. I think they can toy around with it because Cox can play really any of the linebacker positions. He can cover. He's extremely good in pursuit. He can get into the backfield, obviously. I mean, you watch his highlights, and he's a handful, coming against the pass. So I think that, yes, he's a day one starter. I wouldn't say exactly kind of where or whose spot he might take, but you don't play at North Dakota State and be the best player and be a 3-time All-American and have 100 tackles a year and go to LSU and ride the pine when they just lost 3 starting linebackers, 4 if you're counting Divinity. So, yes, I would fully expect that he's starting and playing every game.
One more thing here, Shea, about Cox. A thought on how – I know you alluded to it with Bill Busch, but how all of the process came together here with Cox and ended up getting the commitment. And then when you look forward, what is the process like actually getting, like, when can he formally sign and officially be a part of the LSU program?
I need to check that because back in March, they had just put on pause signings, which would have been kids that didn't sign in February. But they've been still going forward, for instance, with basketball signings, which will happen in the month of April. It's one of their big signing periods. So I need to look at it, but I would imagine he's probably signing. If he can do it now, he's doing it now. If he can't, then he'll sign it as soon as he can. I think he's fully done there. But you look at how it happened, it's exactly kind of the reasons I laid out. If you lose Chason, Divinity, Queen, Phillips, everybody at the second level right there, you say, all right, we went past signing day. We've got 3 open spots. Orgeron said it on signing day. He said, we're going to go hit the transfer portal for grad transfers. We don't need guys who are going to sit out a year. We can just recruit high school guys for that. So find an immediate guy, and linebacker was something they had circled. He even said it. So the second you look in the portal and a new guy goes in that's wearing, on his jersey, 3-time All-American at a school that's won 3 straight national championships. You've got Bo Pelini on staff, who played him at Youngstown State quite often, and some of the analysts who came with Pelini recruited Cox and were familiar with him. So the second he went in, they were first up. And Jabril told me more than 50 schools probably called and said, come on a visit. We could use you. We need a linebacker that can play right away. And look, and this is, Matt, I'll wrap it up like this. This is a coach's dream. I've got an extra spot, multiple extra spots. I can get a guy like Jabril Cox, and by December, January, he's off my roster. He's off my 85, and I can go into the next class and keep recruiting and not have to worry about, getting over my scholarship limit. So these guys don't come around often. Look, even Burrow was a 2-year guy, but thank goodness he was for the LSU fans. But, boy, if you need immediate help at linebacker, today is the kind of day where you're happy to be an LSU fan.
On Twitter at Shea Dixon, y'all give him a follow. Go247 GEAUX. Go247. Hey man, on short notice, I appreciate you hopping on. Thanks, Shea, as always.
Anytime, Matt. I'll see you later.